All right, we got a little say what here. We all know Miami's currently on a 9-game losing streak. Jeff Teague said that the Heat need to get rid of Pat Riley. Now, he's been there 30 years. He's 80 years old. What do you think?
I'll ask this question. We make so much about Pat Riley in his treatment of superstars when they get into the latter years of their career. Do we not supposed to hold front office personnel just as accountable when they get to a certain age?
I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think just naturally when you're 80 years old, there's things that you probably don't understand or get when it comes to the culture of players now. I'll get to the Heat culture part of it, but the players. Like, shouldn't there at some point be a better understanding of what's going on in 2025 opposed to what used to be?
I would think.
You would think that.
Hope.
You would think that, right? And so for that, I would ask the question, when do we start holding our execs accountable on the same level of players when they say you're too old or you're too this? Now, I've never worked alongside Pat Riley. I've never been a player that's played under him. I've never been a Miami Heat guy. I can't speak to his impact day in and day out. I only know what I know from this vantage point. But Jeff saying that they need to get rid of Pat Riley, I'm not going to say they need to get to it because I can't speak to that based on experience. But I want to pose the question: at 80 years old in 2025, with how much the game has changed, it's evolved, what's accepted, and how guys carry themselves, and what's deemed to be a successful way of getting to championships and winning basketball games. Why not ask the question?
I wonder if it's just a simple case of it's Pat Riley, so he's sort of earned the right to leave when he wants to leave. And that being said, look, I think
who's gonna check him?
Most of us at 80, I don't want to even have been sniffing work anywhere near 80.
Yeah.
I'd like to make it to 80, but not be working anywhere close to it. But I also wonder, A, if he's one of those guys that's like, I can't not work. And then B, he's not going to want to go out like this, on this kind of a season. Yeah,
that's clearly his life's purpose. You know, at 80 years old, I don't know if I'd like to be working, let alone be the president of basketball operations. And, your name is already on the court. To have your name already on the court and you still be an active member of the team, that says everything about your legacy and longevity and the things that you've been able to accomplish. Like that goes without saying. We don't have to run down Pat Riley's resume.
Sure.
But at some point, people get tired and things get outdated and it needs upgrades and you need the newer version of it. I don't know what that looks like for the Miami Heat.
Maybe Spoelstra. Maybe everybody moves up.
Maybe Spo can take that position. So I'm not a component of players or coaches losing their jobs. So I'm not gonna be the guy to sit here and say that Pat Riley needs to go. But if there was a guy to go, it would be Pat Riley, and maybe Spo gets that job. But I'm only asking the question.
I think it's fair.
Yeah, we do it with the athletes. Why not do it with the front office people as well? I
think that's fair. I think you're not being unreasonable. All right, Rob Parker said that Steph Curry isn't the greatest shooter of all time.
Talk about unreasonable.
I mean, this I had to read a couple times because he doesn't hit enough big shots, and that being the greatest shooter means hitting shots under any circumstance.
One, you have to be in a tight game to hit big shots. We've gotten used to Steph Curry putting everybody to sleep. When you've putting teams to sleep, and this is your literal celebration, that screams big shot to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of.
And Steph Curry has it all. He has the gauntlet. He can shoot off the dribble, shoot standstill, got a mid-range. He can shoot deep. The guy knows how to shoot the basketball when he's playing around. He has a routine where he shoots the ball from the tunnel and runs off. What are we talking about, Rob Parker? Are we just trying to get people excited? This is the one argument in basketball that shouldn't even be debatable anymore.
He did say he's the greatest three-point shooter?
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter that we've seen of all time. We've seen some amazing shooters, hell of a shooters. Ray Allen, Reggie Miller.
He named him.
Even MJ was a great mid-range shooter. He was an assassin. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter that we've ever seen. If there's one thing in our sport that we shouldn't debate anymore, we shouldn't be challenging Steph Curry's ability to be the greatest shooter of all time.
It's a hot take.
Not even the guys that he's mentioned is even fighting this anymore.
I know.
Not even.
And
they're
Reggie
not.
and
Yeah, they're not even fighting it. Like, they understand what their impact on the game was and the things that they were able to do as far as shooting the basketball goes in their games. We love those guys, and then we found Steph Curry. And Steph Curry he's gonna shatter every shooting record there is and put it damn near out of touch. Those guys don't even fight this argument. So why would Rob Parker?
I don't know. We need to get to the psychological.
He's just
root
trying to
of
get
this
the
one.
people going, man.
Just
That's
getting us riled up.
It worked. We're sitting here talking about it, but like, who's debating anymore that Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time?
I didn't have that on the card either.
Put this poll out in anybody's world on any platform, and Steph Curry is going to have at least 80% of the votes.
At least, I would agree. And then you'll
Anywhere
have
in the world.
contrarians, of course.
Anywhere.
Here we go. Rich Paul said that he doesn't think that there's going to be a next face of the NBA, that it's going to be community and that it should be embraced. Do you agree with the idea that there's not a face, a singular face, and we should embrace it?
I don't think there's ever been one face.
I don't get it.
I think it's always been a community. Now we've had stretches where obviously LeBron James has been the elder statesman for a long time, but at one point it was him and Steph. You know, even when it was him in his early days, it was Kobe as well. Like, there's always been a tandem or a trio or a community-based stretch of guys that has held this crown. And so I understand what he's saying, and I agree with him. But there's always going to be one marquee guy that's going to be the big picture, and everybody else is going to be the small picture on the flyer. There's always going to be one singular guy that's going to be highlighted, but there's always been a community of faces of the NBA. Always.
Yeah, I can't remember a time where I would maybe Jordan. Like,
I mean,
where
you
you
don't
would just think of one person when you thought of the whole NBA.
Yeah, you've always had rivalries. You always had matchups. That's what makes All-Star Weekend special. That's what makes Christmas Day and all of these matchups and opening night and playoff matchups. That's what makes it special, because you have an array of guys that you can point to be the face of the NBA. And so it's always been community-based to me, but there's usually one or two guys that are going to be marquee on a different level than everybody
Like
else.
the movie stars.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
just just natural.
That's fair. Bronny James spoke to The Athletic, and he said that he tries to let the negative comments go in one ear, out the other. Sometimes it fuels him, though. Says everything that people are saying, that people think he's a bleeping robot. The robot thing got me. Like, he doesn't have, feelings and emotions. So what's your reaction to that?
I like the fact that he's fighting back. Like, allow me to be my own person. I'm a grown man. Everything that's discussed about me shouldn't be hedged on who my father is. You know, like, we should allow him to be his own man. So I like the fact that he's speaking up for himself. He wants people to know that he has feelings. Like, he's hearing all of these things. And being
a robot? I never thought of a robot.
Yeah, but being a young man navigating so much attention, like, at the end of the day, he was the 55th pick in this draft. No, we don't discuss anybody else in this draft in the manner that we discuss Bronny James. And that's because of who his father is. You got to allow him to go out and be the young, grown man that he is, and ask him sometimes, what do you feel about this? And he got to do a better job of being out on the front lines like he is now. Speak up for yourself. Become the vocal person. Stop allowing the media to speak for you or anybody else. Speak for yourself. Yep, or your dad. Speak for yourself, and that's where you'll start. That's where people can start understanding who Bronny James is. And it does help that he's going out there and performing at the level that he's performing, giving the opportunity that he is. And so all of these things helps. I feel like for him to not feel like a robot, but this is good for him to speak up and take the onus and say, hey, enough is enough. I like to speak for myself and stop treating me like this.
I think we'll always wonder what his journey would have been like had he not gone to the Lakers with his dad. Like, if he would have gone in any other team. Like, I genuinely feel like this would all feel differently.
Yeah, but
we'll never know.
But we'll never know, and it's also the beginning of this story.
Yeah.
Bronny James he's going to be a reputable pro. He's going to earn his keep, and he's showing that right now. And he's going to have opportunities year after year after year to be his own man, not be under his dad's shadow. And that's when this story will start to change. And I look forward to it.
We've got to take a quick break. On the other side, the age-old question: can NFL players be in the NBA? This time we have video, Lou. Video.
Let's not do this.
Yep, we're doing it.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back.